Hi, friends. Welcome to your writing lesson today. You've just worked really hard on your conclusions after our live mini lesson that we had yesterday. And Ms. Kuman and I have given you lots of feedback on your writing and have even conferred with some of you over Zoom. So today we're going to start our next lesson, which is going to focus more so on just the revising process. However, today I'm going to start off talking about the difference between what revising and editing is. So when we make revisions to our writing, which we're all going to do because all writing needs revising. And when we're revising, friends, we are making changes to our writing and we are making our writing better. We're revisiting each area, rereading it, and seeing how we can make our character pop more in the story, how we can show more instead of tell using sensory details, such as what we see, smell, taste, touch, and hear. And we're choosing different word choice. We might even take out things that don't make sense and rearrange our writing. So that's a little taste on what revising is. The difference between revising and editing is editing where we just change capitalization, punctuation. We might change the different type of there. Maybe we use THERE to show place, but we should have used THEIR. And that would be the correct type of there we should use that shows a person. It's theirs. So keep in mind that editing, we look at the usage of words, we look at punctuation and capitalization, and then we also look at spelling under revising. Under editing. Got to be careful with editing. Revising is different than editing, but sometimes as fifth graders, we think that they're the same thing, and they're not. They're completely different. So today, we're going to work on revising first. Revising always comes before editing. And the reason that is when we add new things to our writing and we add more detail and we might add more paragraphs, we might make an editing mistake. And so we want to make sure that we edit after we revise. So today I want you to go ahead and look on the revising sheet, and we're going to remember this acronym called STAR when we're revising. Today, when you're revising your personal narrative, you're going to have this sheet out. I've uploaded it to the remote learning plan. You also have this sheet in your writing folder that you took home. So the S stands for substitute. And this is where we take out words that are really repetitive, where we've overused them. For example, all of you know that Bill Harley in Night of the Spadefoot Toads likes to say, says Ben. Ben said, says Ben. That's repetitive. That's where we might want to change some of the saids or says to a different dialogue tag. We might want to change some of our verbs that are weak to really vivid verbs. And so verbs are action words. So making sure we are using like walking, running, skipping, like showing action in our story. Adjectives. Instead of it, being just their brown eyes, maybe they were humongous, big brown eyes. Making sure that we're using strong adjectives to describe all of our nouns. Color, the size, the shape, and making sure that we just have really good common nouns that are being descriptive. So in this part, we want to make sure we're showing instead of telling, adding all adjectives before our nouns in our piece. The T stands for take out. We want to take out things that are repetitive. So if I use the word beautiful, and then I use it again, and I use it again, and I use it again, I want to take it out and replace it with words that might have a similar meaning as beautiful, like pretty, or it was, the beauty of it all. We might want to even take the word out and just notice we don't need it. So making sure that you have the repetitive words gone and you're substituting those words for something different. A cool way to look up new words that mean something similar is on your iPad. Look up for synonyms for the word beautiful, and they'll give you a list of words that you could use in your writing. We also want to make sure we take out unimportant or irrelevant information. when I've met with some of you this week and when Ms. Kuman has met with some of you, some of the things in your story did not need to be there. Make sure that it's all of the necessary details that need to be there that show your seed moment. We don't want to get into a watermelon story where we're adding things that are not necessary. And then the parts that should be in another place. So this is called where we might need to rearrange a piece. And I've had to do a few of these things with some of you guys where you started off at the beginning with a flash forward and then you came back, but you added too much. And I think we needed to take out and or put something else in front of it. So sometimes we might have to rearrange our writing and move something before something or move it after. So checking for that purpose. Go back to your plot mountain, making sure your rising actions are there, your climax and your falling actions, and they're all in the proper order. And take out some things that aren't necessary to be there. The next for STAR, the acronym stands for add. This is where you want to add more detail, more description, maybe something new that you forgot to add. Ooh, figurative language. We've been working on that. Can you add another simile where you're comparing two things with like or as? Can you add a hyperbole, which is an exaggeration in your story? Can you add an alliteration where you have repetitive words that start with the same letter? Can you add an idiom like it's raining cats and dogs that's fitting for your story? Expand your ideas with description, okay? And then looking at the last part of revision is the R, rearrange, words, sentences, and paragraphs. I've met with some friends where their sentences don't make sense and they don't have periods in them and it's a run-on sentence. You need to make sure you go back through and read every sentence in your piece. Make sure it sounds right when the reader's listening to it. Maybe after you're done today, you read it to someone at home to make sure it sounds proper and they can follow along with you and do some peer editing. Today, Ms. Kuman and I are going to meet with some friends during writing time. You can pop in during the Zooms, and these are some of the things that we've already given you some constructive criticism about. But we also want you to take some ownership in your writing and make sure you're changing some things that fit in the STAR categories, making substitutes, takeouts, adding, and rearranging. Today, you're only working on the revision part. However, if you see that you missed a capital or something spelled wrong or punctuation, of course you can fix it. That's what good writers do. But today we're really focusing on the revising part of our writing. So after this video, you're going to go ahead and reread your draft. We revise after we finish our first draft. And now you're going to do some of these great things to your writing. Today, you're going to make sure you are showing us. Make sure you're really doing this, you guys. It's really important. And then we will check in together. So hopefully, number one, you know the difference between revising and editing. Number two, you know what you're going to be checking in your revising side. On Monday, the following week, if we're still remote, we're going to be showing you how we do revise in our piece by showing Ms. Kuman's piece and my piece to you and showing you how we are substituting and taking out and adding and rearranging. And then we'll move into editing. Please make sure you share your piece with us today and we will get back to you with some comments. Awesome job. See you soon.